nobody can predict anything, and if they do, that's sinful too. You can't predict the future. I'm just talking about that night in particular, and you keep on bouncing all over the place. Like, what doesn't matter when I went to school? What doesn't matter when I was, dating that girl who was a version of Jennifer Love Hewitt? I mean, she used to look like Jennifer Love Hewitt. I mean, she was gorgeous back then. I've never seen her again since then. But my goodness, that girl was beautiful. But like I said, the first time, then because there was always a party house that we would always go to during the weekends, And the first weekend back there, her and I stood the night, and I'm like, I didn't tell her because she would have probably gotten all freaked out, you know what I mean? So there I am, like, sleeping with, like Metallica says, sleep with one eye open, gripping your pillow tight. That was totally me the whole night long, and I'm like, was he possessed, or was it something that he actually seen? And the funny thing is, I don't remember if it's the girl that I'm talking to now or another one that said, I was telling them this story, and they related with me when they said,
You were telling them that story?
I had told them the story, and I think it was this girl, and she had said, like, when I said, he told us that whoever was there sitting on the couch was, very, like, just dressed very well. And she's like, she related it because she said somebody in her family had experienced something like that similar, and that they remember them being dressed very well, very proper like. And I'm like, isn't that crazy that, she didn't go into detail, and I don't think she,
Well, they said he was a beautiful angel,
yeah, God's most beautiful angel.
and he became so into himself.
Vanity.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to be
wanted
more
to
than
be-
God.
Yeah.
And I know, and then he rebelled against him and brought his angels with him, and they fell into, dark
And
angels.
So, what I remember, I felt terrible that, because he just looked so out of it. And then I used to feel so bad when I thought about the fact that we let him fall and he hit himself.
Well, we didn't know that he was gonna,
Faint.
especially during prayer.
So, you got bruised right there?
No, it's freaking just paint.
Oh,
But like, especially during prayer, what a time to faint.
yeah. Well, the devil didn't want him to hear it.
But for his dog, because I mean, what I was talking about, all Chevy alarms sounded like when you click the thing. But for some reason, he said Katera always knew it was me. Every time I clicked the car when I had that really nice Camaro.
What was the name of the dog?
Katera.
What does that mean?
It's named after a Cadillac.
Katera? Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's like the cheaper version of Cadillac. I don't know why he named her that, but then he named his other dogs after the dogs that guard hell.
I really used to like Ty.
Well, no, I mean it's not just about liking him or anything. I'm just, like I said that night, like I was just trying to make sense of it all. Like what was it? I mean, here his dog's not listening to him when he's telling her to come here, sitting by this strange entity, whatever it was. What I mean.
And then if his mom was so into all those things and attracting all those bad
We
spirits.
played the Ouija board with her. She had no idea anything about me other than I was his friend. And so when she had said, like, oh yeah, we only want good spirits here, I was like, yeah, bullshit.
We only
And
what?
want good spirits, only talk to good spirits. And I'm thinking in my mind, you're full of shit. But I mean, you are barely, like, just barely, like, touching it. Like, you could barely,
We used to play it.
you barely do that. And she asked it, like, Ty never talked to her much, but when she's like, oh, who does, because then Ty and Hope disappeared, so he could show her the house, because her house, I mean, she had a freaking sauna in her master bedroom. I mean, yeah, it was pretty damn big, probably about the size of this. And then she had like that
The
100
whole
or
house, I mean, this whole house was her bathroom.
no, no. She had a beautiful spiral staircase that would go to the main level, but no, yet real.
Where did
I
she
mean,
lived?
over there across the street from that. You know where all those beautiful houses are in Quincy, before you hit Wadsworth.
Yeah.
There's a country club, yeah, and then but on the but
Pinehurst.
yeah, but in the other side, there's some beautiful houses there, and hers was just beautiful, and she had a
I used to work with lived in the Pinehurst Estates, and she had
yeah. I mean,
a
they're
beautiful
just
house with a pool and.
they have everything, but her like she would always play, have that Ouija board in their garden, like her greenhouse. Jesus, hold on, God, like you can't even keep focused or on. No, you keep on jumping all over the place, and this is actually 4 now. So don't ever give me that BS. Oh, I don't feel good.
I swear to God. I
Don't swear to God.
I
That's
feel
like the
real-
5th time.
real, lightheaded.
Oh, so then you're just gonna compound it and make it worse by
I
smoking.
did. Even I don't know if you heard me calling the nurse to tell her what.
Yeah, but yeah,
how I
here you
was
are.
feeling.
Here, there you are with that.
And she said,
And we're not talking about that.
"Okay."
I'm saying there you are with that, and you're content with that here. That makes no sense.
So-
Even when I don't feel
Well-
good, I don't.
Oh, please.
I don't. Shoot.
Okay. Did he ever talk about it after that?
No.
No?
Just like your scaredy son.
What do you mean? Well, God only knows what Steve went through. He won't say. You know?
I just remember I heard that something pinned him to the couch. He said, but he couldn't see what it was. And he's like, wasn't he at his biggest back then? No, he's getting pretty big now.
No, he's actually not.
The last time I.
lost a few. And today was really nice, because.
I'm not going on all that. I'm just saying, like, how big was he back then? Like, still the same height, 6'7" or so, 320, 300.
Well, that's when they moved over here to that house.
No, it happened in the basement across the street from Houston Park, he said.
I thought it was here when they moved here.
No, across the street from Houston Park.
I don't think so.
Ask him.
But the guy that gave him the boat, his son,
Oh, my God.
his son was in his late 20s and he died.
Okay.
And so.
I'm
he
not
really
talking
likes
about.
him.
I'm not telling about that.
Oh, okay. But
I'm trying to make sense of what happened to my best friend and what former best friend and what happened to my now greedy ass brother.
and so.
If
But I'm
Steve
just
so much believed in God and this and that, why would he be attacked?
Because the devil is not going to attack a bad person because they're already bad. He's going to attack the ones that they're closer to God and that
So
God
you believe
told-
Steve was a good person?
Well, he always was. Like you. You're a good person.
Mm.
You got sidetracked there, but, I mean. you
Well,
had-
yeah, it kind of happens when you freaking
Yeah. Well,
work
no,
in the
everybody
entertainment
understands
industry, and then you
that. I mean,
then you become director of 2 gentlemen clubs, which everybody thought was like,
Yeah,
oh
but
my
the-
God, you have my dream job. I would love to, be the director of a freaking gentlemen's club. I'm like, it's not all that it's cracked up to be. Believe me, after a while, you start checking out the girls that actually have their clothes on.
Dad thought it was great that you had invited us to dinner. He just thought
Well, yeah.
You know,
I put you in the VIP room, but that's
you
neither.
look so handsome in your
Oh my
in your
God.
suit and
That's neither here nor there. But I'm just like I said, like it just to. I was trying to just like rethink because I remember like being chicken shit, because I was all into that paranormal stuff. Remember before Ghost Hunters and all those shows came out.
yeah, but going to the
There I
cemeteries
took
and
yeah. Going to the cemeteries or going, to Georgetown, which is the most haunted town in Colorado, and catching what I caught on film, those weird lights. But nothing like Ty said he's seen like stuff when he was a little kid. He's seen like one time, like he said he was sitting there watching TV when he was living at his mom's house. Now he's seen little fingers clasped around the door like that, and a little boy's face peeked out and laughed, and he could hear it jump like on his waterbed. He used to have a waterbed, and he could hear it plain as day jump. And he said he never got bothered by it because he would see things all the time. But to the Ouija board thing, so his relationship with his mom is strained, and since he lived with his dad, he hardly talked to her, so she wouldn't know much about me. But she asked, who does Cisco have a big crush on in high school? And in high school, it was that girl Anna, the one who, was runner up to Miss Teen Colorado. And she would go to my work and wait till I get off, and she went with me up.
her grandpa used to take her.
Yeah, and she went with me up to Platteville before. I remember Dominic being like, "Who is that?" I'm like, "Dude, she's not even 18 yet." I said, "I'm not even 18 yet. We're both, 17, so that's jail bait." But like I never told anybody about it. Like none of my friends really. I never even told Tim about it. Who and Ty never ever wanted to talk about it. After that had happened, it was like, no. But I just vividly remember you having the bravery to go in there and like, oh, I'm going in. And I was like, more or less like, fuck that. And you went inside, and so then I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to let you go inside by yourself. So the sun was coming up. I just remember going in there and seeing all the dishes, just every single dish on the floor. I seen the, behind where the washer and dryer are kept, like just ripped off the thing, the hinges. I remember seeing the cupboards ripped off the hinges, and at first I thought, okay, maybe he did some psychedelic drugs or something, and he was on something and did this. But the only thing that convinced me finally was seeing all the dog vomit in multiple places, not just in one area. Like, how in the world are you going to get a dog to vomit like that? And him saying that he's...
You really scared him.
No, not to that point. I mean, and then to say that, he smelled something that smelled like sulfur when he was using the restroom, and that's when he came out and said there was somebody sitting on his couch. And every time I tried to bring it up, he would like, no, like, find a way to get out the subject. So I would want to know.
Why were you asking about the pastor?
Because I didn't know who he was. Like, I was like, was he a family friend? Did you know him?
I don't know who they sent.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't know who it was. Like, I just was asking, like, who was that guy?
What did Ty think about them?
He never talked about it again.
Oh.
We would talk about it, and he would never say anything. But I just remember, him praying, and then us praying together, and him, falling, just passed out, fainting. And then it seemed like, I don't know, he didn't go to the ambulance or anything, huh? Didn't we just leave him there after?
Well, we asked him to come and stay with us, and he said no.
He had to have seen something to scare him that bad, because I never had. He called you. He didn't call me. He called you, because he had my cell phone number, and he would always call my cell phone number, but he didn't call to talk to me. He talked to you, because he knew that you and Grandma would be the only two that knew so much about God and that would be so faithful. He would have definitely have called my cell phone and said, hey, Like if it was like, two jerks, trying to get in his house or something, he'd call me like, hey, come over, let's scare these punks. But for something like that, I just remember picking up the phone after you did and then just hearing how hysterical he sounded. Like I remember that freaking the shit out of me. That was the only thing he had ever told me. He was just...
told me the devil's in my house.
That was the only thing that he ever, like I said, the only thing he ever told me was that, he's like, no, I called your mom. He's like, because I knew that, her relationship with God was so much closer. And then him saying that, because he wasn't really into God or the church at that time. But still, for him to call you, I didn't know he told you that, though. He said the devil's in my house.
I'm like, what? Yeah, could you tell Francisco to come over? I don't remember whether he asked me to go over. Or could you guys come over or something? But
I remember him just sitting out there like with his shoes off. Like he didn't even have time to grab his shoes.
well, he had gone out, he said, and he came home. Was gonna get ready to go
No,
to bed.
he went out, got home, went to use the restroom. He said when he walked back out that he smelled like a weird smell. And then he could just see Katera from the angle that he was sitting in. He said, come here. And she was like Ollie. She would, listen to him, his every command. And she wouldn't move. And then when he walked more around the corner, he said that's when he saw like somebody just sitting all proper, like just well dressed.
So did you tell that girl that you're dating now, or that you're seeing?
I can't remember it was her or another girl, but they both, whoever it was, related to the fact that about the nice dressing. But I don't remember him ever saying that devil was in the house. That's freaky.
And so...
Whatever happened to him scared the shit out of him so much he never bragged about it or talked about it again. And so the same thing happened to Steve then. Is that he never wanted to talk about it.
I have asked him a few times. I said, tell me what happened. No. He's never not once has he ever said a thing about it. And so...
You must have been doing something bad.
Well, I tell you, the devil doesn't go after people that are bad. God knows your heart. God knows that if you're a good person, of course we all sin. We all, like the Bible says, fall short of the grace of God. He knows we're going to sin before we even do it.
But then why go after Ty then? Why go after Ty? He hadn't accepted
knows?
Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior until...
Well, you don't know his heart.
No, I got him to. He asked me to.
Ask you to what?
To take him to church so he could be saved. So I took him to church.
I don't remember.
Well, it was at Applewood.
Mm.
And then, like, after that, it was all like I said, probably not the smartest thing to be going out there ghost hunting, with all this equipment and friends. I just remember that night, like, it was a night where it was so hot, wearing shorts, and the moment you started getting closer there, you could just see our breath just coming out. I'm like, here I am, the one that's wanting to capture or find something, and here I am, like, the first one to bitch out, like, no, let's turn back, let's go to the car, I don't want to do this. And then, what was the other one that got me real bad, too? There was another one, I forgot.
Wasn't it over there at Houston Park?
Oh, yeah, when, because I had went downstairs, and do you remember those alcoholic drinks, those Zimas? Steve and Andrea, they had, like, a few of them in the refrigerator, and I told punk David, I was like, I'm going to grab some. I'm like, and the halfway point was a park between his place and my place, our place. So we met at the park, and went all just dressed up because there was snow everywhere. you know, so there we were just thinking we're all cool drinking our Zimas. And they didn't have that light post, you know, installed yet because now it's all well lit and everything. They really did it like all nice. Have you drove by there lately?
No, because now it's like one way.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They made one ways all around it, which is all
Yeah.
stupid. But anyways, it like honestly was like the moment that like you know one Zima or even two Zimas, however many we drank, it was like the max, like maybe two, isn't gonna get you drunk. But for us to feel what we felt twice in one night, first hearing a car window shattered, and like nobody was out there. There was not a single person out there. I mean, yeah, sure, that could be explained a lot. Maybe somebody shot it with a BB gun from far away, or something happened. So, you know, maybe that could be explained away. But the moment that him and I both stepped off that into the snow that is around everywhere, and to feel like if you open the
I thought it was in the summertime.
no, it was in the winter time because it just like it felt like when you open the oven, you know, you get that blast of heat. That's exactly what it felt like. Just like I mean, this hot heat just came over us, and we both looked at each other like freaked as shit. Because mind you, this is before what happened to Ty. That was my very first experience that I was like, there was a summertime incident that he said when he was walking home, the skies were absolutely clear, clear as night. And after him and I had hung out, he said he remembered seeing streaks of light keep on going across the sky, like lightning, but there was no storm.
I remember when we lived there, I saw several lights, like neon green, you know, just coming to the lake.
Yeah.
Several times I saw that.
Really?
Yeah, and it was like, wow, what is that, you know? And then another time, so I would sit there on the porch, and when you be gone, and one time this car pulls up and parks across the street from where we lived, and these two guys and this girl got out, and pretty soon all you could see was her legs up in the air. She was taking turns with each guy.
Oh my God.
It was, and all out and through the lights, you know, it's like she's having sex with him, and then one got done, and then the other one goes, and her legs are up in the air.
Nasty
And
bitch.
it's like, oh my God, this is awful. And it was like,
Well, you go from UFOs to hookers.
yeah, I mean, it was terrible.
That is nasty. I never knew about that.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, I'm probably going to go to bed. So you have a good night. Love you, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Okay. So I hope that recorded. Yep, it did.